Welcome to the Situation Room podcast with your host, J Grooves. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel.
Okay, I'm gonna talk a little bit today about I'm quite sure you don't heard about they saying that people don't want to return back to work, you know, during the, well, actually we still in a pandemic. It's not over with, so I'm just gonna say I'm not gonna say post pandemic, but I'm just saying ongoing, during the ongoing pandemic. And there may be many factors where people don't want to go back to work, and I took a look at some reasoning, and one of my reasoning is I think employees found out they was more important than the job was. And for one thing, employees, some employees have been taking abuse on their job for years and years and years. And when the pandemic hit, it gave them time to reassess things. And so that may be one reason why they're not so willing to return back, because they feel as if they're more important and their life more important. And another factor is that they may have found other ways to survive. It's kind of like, you know, a lot of people were left hanging, so they go to their creative side, and they had to think of creative ways to make ends meet. So that may have a lot to do with it too. You may hear some thunder because it's storming a little bit. I got caught in the rain, but I'm okay. But so just bear with the outside noise. Another thing is, like I said, kind of go back to the first statement, is they just realized how much the company just didn't really care about them. You know, and that's been going on for a long time, where companies abuse their employees, and they treat their employees like they expendable. You know, no matter how hard that employee work, no matter how hard that employee show their value, it's like the company don't care, because their bottom line is just really is their dollar, and that's all they look at. They really don't look at anything else. And for that simple reason, you know, they feel if they can pay their employees whatever lowball salary that they want to pay them. And low pay is not a risk worth taking, you know, for, you know, catching, you know what, you know, because it just not, because most low paid jobs, you won't have the health care insurance to go to the hospital if you do get sick, you know, and then you may infect your family members when you go back home. So a lot of people saw the risk just wasn't worth taking, you know, even though they told everybody, oh, you're an essential employee. Oh, you remember that now. Only during the pandemic, you was real important. Oh, you're an essential employee, and all that kind of stuff. You know, that was just a brainwashing technique for people to stay in the line of fire, so to speak. You know, and that's really what that all boiled down to. Out of all those years, you never been essential until the end. Think about it. But another thing is is that there was this hold on, let me see. And a lot of people suffer such a tragedy from it, and I pray for those people who lost people. I know some people that lost their lives due to that, and my prayers are still with those people. And we all know somebody who did contract it, so we do know that it's real, but its origin and where it come from, we may never know. I mean, but that's kind of like beside things right now. The main thing right now is being able to survive this whole thing, Yeah, like I was saying, that some companies are so nasty. They treat their employees like cattle, and they treat them like slaves, like they don't matter, their life don't matter, their family don't matter. So what is it that they expect when people don't have the time to sit out and think things through? Because it's like they was on a treadmill, so they kept going, and they kept them away from having to think critically about things. But this pandemic forced people to think critical and think critically about their lives and their future, So, because no one has a future making $8, $10, not even $12 an hour. You'll continue to stay on that treadmill of not going anywhere. So that's what a lot of people got to access and take a look at, But I'm not going to make this a long video, but I'm just saying this should teach corporations to be more appreciative of their employees. So hopefully we will see a lot of change in the corporate perspective, but I doubt it, but we can just always hope. Okay, some companies did give the hazard pay, like to your first responders, people like that. They did get the hazard pay, but the employees that are at the lowest of the totem pole, they still had struggles of getting that hazard pay. And this is an article published on CBS News on February the 3rd, 2021. And it states, now this one company in particular that they reported on, it said Kroger is closing 2 stores in California rather than to pay grocery worker an extra $4 for working at the nation's largest supermarket chain during the pandemic. And I know this to be true because I've seen other Kroger's close. Okay, it says, it further says, the company blamed a decision by local officials who recently approved a temporary wage increase for some supermarket employees. Kroger says it will close the stores at Ralph's and a food, well, anyway, I ain't gonna go through all that because they don't already closed. But that was what was going on back in February. So a lot of the corporation will rather shut down. It's sad, but they would rather just shut down than to pay their employees an extra $4 or $5 extra. They'll just rather just close up, and that's kind of sad, but that's the way it is in America. But that's the way it is. I mean, hazard pay, it was just to help that employee, but you gotta think about it. This employee coming out to your job, making money for you, putting millions of dollars towards your profit, and you don't want to get them hazard pay, and they run the risk of catching, you know what, taking it home to their family, or either spreading it to dozens of people. But none of that matters when it comes down to saving dollars. You know, it's mind-boggling. But kudos to the companies that did step up and provide hazardous pay for their employees. And those most likely was companies that really cared about their employees and how there's certain things affect them and their daily living. Now on the flip side of that, I can understand a small business who may have just started up. They may not be able to afford that, so there should have been some type of assistance to them for them to be able to pay that hazardous pay, you know, from the government. I don't know whether it was or not, you know, because there's just so much red tape you have to go through, so I don't know, but I think that they should have had a little bit more help with that. Then maybe they wouldn't have to had closed down, you know, the way they did, because not too many people gonna risk their life and their family like that. They're just not going to. But I think it should be mandated. That's just my personal opinion. I think it should be mandated while we're in this pandemic for those workers to get that hazardous pay. And the government should step in and make sure that these corporations pay these employees the hazardous pay, you know, because they really need it, you know. Because if you look at it, you want someone else, even though you're giving them a paycheck, I get that, but you want them to get up and risk their lives for you and your wealth and your benefit, and they get nothing. I don't get that. I just don't get that, you know. So you can't blame people for not wanting to return back to work as business as usual. You can't blame people for that, you know, because it's just a risk that they're not willing to take. I know this pandemic has taught us a lot. It have taught us a lot of things, you know, and it made us deal with a lot of things that vicariously we just been ignoring. You know, we just been going on business as usual. So a lot of things we had to face up to and we had to deal with it. So that's one thing that come out of this pandemic. Okay, I had to switch my glasses. Sometimes I see a little bit better when I switch my glasses. So if I don't have my readers on, I won't be able to see anything, you know. So I switched up a little bit. So don't pay too much attention to that. Just pay attention to the things that I'm talking about in this video. That's really gonna be beneficial and just gonna really you know, help, you know, to get through this crisis, because in my opinion it's not over with. It's not over with by a long shot. And I'm not a pessimistic type of person. I'm real optimistic, but like I say, patterns, you pay attention to the patterns. You know, it's just some information that we're not privy to. So that's why you have to pay attention to the patterns of what's going on around you, you know. Okay, y'all be good, and I'll be back with some more topics. Be sure to subscribe to my channel, like, and you can share my video. And if you would like to donate to my channel, I will leave everything down in the description box. And so until next time, I'll see y'all later. Don't miss a video. Click the notification bell so you will be notified every time I do an upload.